Ahoy and welcome back once again to the channel. Today I've got a new Wave Master to show you. If you're not familiar with the Wave Master, it is one of Phoebos's most popular dive watches. They've made it in a 42mm case. They've now launched a 39.5mm version available with a date or without a date. They're also offering it with some pretty cool dial options. You've got this one, you've also got an aventurine dial version available, a very nice purple dial, and a mother of pearl dial option. There is a small price difference between these watches. I think it's only $10 or so. Good news though, on the price, they are offering 20% off because this is a new model. WM20 gives you 20% off, so the price for this one, for example, $430 US. That means with the discount, you're going to be able to pick this one up for $344 US, which is pretty good when you remember, well, the dials are pretty cool, but also these house the Miyota 9000 series movements. The no date versions have the 9039, and the date versions like this one have the 9015. Great to see them offering this watch with two dial options, in other words, date and no date, but also using the correct movements. Love that. And they've done more than just made a smaller version of the original 42mm Wave Master. They've upgraded the bracelet, improved the loom, and they are offering this watch with the better movements, the 9000 series movements. So you're getting more for your money. Now, I don't think this watch is perfect. There's a few things that I would have liked to have seen done differently, and there's a couple of quality control issues on the one that I've been sent. I'll talk about those in a minute, but let me just quickly run through the specifications, because the specifications for the money, as always with Phoebos, impressive. 316L stainless steel throughout, of course, Miyota 9015 or 9039, depending on which dial variation you go for. 200 meters of water resistance, screw down crown, screw down case, back a diver's bezel, 120 clicks. Ceramic bezel insert, flat sapphire crystal with AR coating, lots of BGW9. I'll show you the loom degrading at the end of the video. Applied indices, dual facet hands. A solid bracelet. It comes with male end links. It extends the case a little bit, doesn't it? There is a little bit of downturn. Yeah, probably would have preferred to have seen female end links, but still, it's not a huge watch, so I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem. Double-ended quick release spring bars as well. That's a nice touch. Screw pins, a milled clasp with on-the-fly adjustment. Lots of branding everywhere. The finishing on the whole, very, very nice. But I have mentioned a couple of quality control issues. One of the screws in the bracelet, well, I was just unable to get it out. It happens every now and then. That is one of the downsides to screw pins. It's one of the reasons why I think a lot of people do prefer split pins, although split pins can get stuck, as can pin and collar. So yeah, none of those are perfect really, are they? And the bezel insert on mine has got a little imperfection on it. Look, I'm looking at this watch through a macro lens, so things like this are going to look far worse, on screen. You can barely see it, but it's quite unusual for Phoebos, this. I don't recall really seeing too many quality control issues from them, and I've seen a lot of their watches. I did have one watch a long while ago that had a problem with the date wheel. There was an imperfection on the date wheel, but I sent that watch back. They changed the date wheel, and yeah, job's a good one. But apart from that, I don't recall seeing quality control issues like this. Yeah, the screw pin, well, they wouldn't really be able to detect that before they sent the watch out. It's probably happened as the pin was put in, and the imperfection on the bezel insert, really, really small. Now, the changes that I'd like to see with this watch. The end links, they look a bit sort of soft and rounded. The bracelet has really nice angular links, crisp sides to those links, but the end links are a bit sort of soft and rounded when compared to the bracelet, so they just don't match particularly well. And the case has some very nice polished chamfered edges flanking the case. The finishing overall very, very good. They finish their watches nicely. But as far as polishing goes, that is about it. The presses or the pushers on the clasp are polished, but the bracelet and the clasp, well, no polishing at all. And if you're gonna put some polished facets on the case like this, I think it would be nice to sort of match that style of finishing on the outer shell of the clasp. But maybe the outer shell of the clasp just looks a bit plain, doesn't it? It's fully brushed, and you do have those corners flanking the clasp. They'd be, you know, perfectly suited to a sort of polished finish. But I am nitpicking a little bit. It is a dive watch, a tool watch at the end of the day, not one that you're necessarily going to go diving with, I don't think. But yeah, minor complaints, recommendations really. And on the whole, yeah, it's a very, very nice watch. I do prefer the smaller version. I am a fan of slightly smaller than average dive watches. 39.5mm is about right for me. And yeah, 42mm, 300-meter divers, I just find them a bit chunky to wear regularly. Every now and then I do like to wear a chunky diver. But to be honest, I'd far sooner wear something like this, a slightly smaller than average 200-meter diver. And just look at this dial. How have I left it until almost the end of the video to talk about this incredible dial? I think they took a look at my videos and thought, we need to send him a colourful one. And yeah, the colours on this dial are incredible. If you like this sort of thing, I mean, just look at it. The pictures tell you everything you need to know about the dial, don't they, really? Of course, each one's going to be quite individual. No two are ever going to be the same. But if this isn't for you, yeah, there's other options available, isn't there? Right, guys, yeah, let me know what you think of this new Wavemaster by Phoibos.